but what we're trying to achieve is as simple as possible. So now that we have been able to do that, I will then come back to the, now let's just test to be sure that it's actually working the way we want. To test, I'll just preview. No, I think we have not set it properly. It will not still show. Let's go back to editing. So I will then go to when the screen open. Yes, so I'll set function get list of orders and it's displayed as a list. So let's go ahead to preview it. Let's hope it works. If it does not work, we troubleshoot. And now it is working. It is working. I'm able to extract only the order ID and I use it to set it as a list. You can see 171 4015 1975 4015 1975 4015 1975. Only the order ID we can see. Now let's just quickly do some cleanup. Let's quickly do some cleanup. So what I want to do now is I just want to add some touch. Of course, this is as a result of because I've actually built this app before and at some point it was misbehaving and I was able to do this and it behaved properly. So let me just add it to this too. So I will come to the control and come to if so I'll come to if and I'll check if I'll check come to logic, check the equivalent sign, and if in a list if in this list, so I'll remove this. Yes, I'll remove this, I'll delete it. So if in this list of orders, don't forget list of orders is just a list of this, just this, very simple. So if in that list of orders, try to get the first one, like the first item on that list. If it is now equals to nothing, an empty string, then what do? Just set it back to an empty list. Yeah, come to list, set, no, sorry, variable, set list of orders to empty lists, set it back to empty list. Yeah, so I think we have that now. So if the list of orders, if it does not have value, then set it to an empty list. So now that we have been able to do that, you can see that actually what we are saying, we are only saying the ID, which is to the programmer, it's fancy, it's nice, but if a user comes to list of the orders, if they are their orders page and they are only saying 17 140 195 84015, does not make any meaning to them. So for us to make it, I think we should just display the order ID and then attach the product name. Sorry, is that okay? This is my ID, this is my unique number for that my particular order, and the name of the product. the name of the product, so that they can have an idea. Okay, this product, this is the ID, this product is the ID, instead of just displaying only number. So that's what we are going to go ahead to do now. So we come back to editing, and we are going to come to where we are returning the order ID. This is where we are returning the order ID. What I just want us to do now is that order ID that we have, we should just use it to get the product's name and attach it to it. Like I told you about concatenation, which is taking two strings and adding it together. That's what we want to do here. So what I will just do is that I will just come to text and I'll come to join. So it's just like using it for concatenation. So I'll bring it. So what I want to do is I want to return. So I'll delete this. You can just press delete to delete. So I'll come to join the order ID. Join the order ID, and I'll put a string. It to come to text. I'll join it to dash. So just put space, put dash, put another space, put a space in front, and I will add more. So I will add more item, put this one at the top. Yeah. So what I'll be adding there is the product name. Of course, that's going to be a string. We don't need to stringify it. It's not an object. So I'll build up to get to the product name. So I'll come to object, get to get property. Don't forget the build up from users to the user ID to the orders to the order ID, and from the order ID you get the product name. So to build this up, I'll first start from the variable users, declare the variable users, which is our database, and now we can have series of users. You can see from users we enter the user ID. Yeah, so user ID, I'll just come here and I'll come to user ID, come to variables, store variable user ID. See the benefit of storing. That's why we should not allow user to come to this page without logging in, because we need several details that they really get only when they log in. So I remove these objects. So whatever I get as this object is what I plug in here, and the property I want to get at this point is, you can see that I've entered this place, I'm currently here. What's the property I want to get here? Easy orders. See, very simple and easy. So just come to text. The property I need here is, this one is generic, this one is general. So it's orders. So I'll continue the build up. From orders, I will then enter to get the order ID. From the order ID, I will then get the product name. Very easy and simple. So I'll come to this build up. So I can just delete this. I think I'll just skip that. So I can just delete. I'm not deleting what I'm not supposed to delete. And this is what I'm supposed to delete. So I think I'll just skip this. Can just keep duplicating. Yeah. So this is the build up, and now from the order I need the order ID. So you can just, once you move it and it's selected, you can just delete it. So it is the order ID I will use. You can see the benefits. I'll use it again. Add variable order ID, and from there, now that I've been able to enter the order ID, I'll continue the build up. From there, I will then get the product name. Prefer to just copy, and I will go ahead to paste. You see how we build up the object. It's just one step at a time. So you then plug that in here. Don't worry, your block will overlap, but what will you do? You will clean up. So now that you have this, you should then get the order ID attached to the product so that the user will have an idea of, okay, this is the product, instead of just saying numbers. So you can go ahead now and preview. And now you can see we have the product name, not just the order ID. We now have the product name to give the user an idea of what the product is all about.